Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Dee with Older INFP Insights. I know yesterday I said that I wasn't going to be filming for a while. I'm going to take a break, and I am, but I want to do an update on the functions and the INFP and the identity crisis with INFPs. That seems to be common. I've done a lot of reading, and the video I did about the INFP versus the ENFP identity crisis is a very popular video of mine. There's a lot of click-through rates. They're not staying that long, so I think what they thought they were going to get is what I'm going to give them now, and not about me. I think INFP, I have learned, has been confused with a lot of other types. I don't see that with some of the other types that I was confused about. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is that I don't feel like right now, I have typed, in the past few years, I've typed over and over again as an INFPA, assertive type. And I don't feel like right now, I don't feel like I can identify with the INFPs. So I thought more with ENFP. Ask for your comments, and we got into the comments about ISFP, which got me even more confused. I took 4 tests yesterday, 4 different types of personality tests in a row, and my thinking was I feel the same way. So let's take several tests, several different types of tests, and see what they come out to be, because if it's statistically significant, which won't be with one study sample, but let's just go with the flow. If it's statistically significant in here, I should come up with the same type every time, or the majority of the time. So I went online. I'm not going to pay for anything. So it's the unscientific scientific study, because you really need to do the actual test. Did different personality tests. I don't remember the names of all of them. One was the MBTI. I can't remember what I got on that one. But the 4 tests I took, one was the INFP-T, actually. One was INFJ. One was ENFP, and one was ISFP. And I was thinking, there's no way I'm a censor, and that's really going to upset me. But actually, the ISFP and the INFP are very similar. The INF, as we know, there's confusion between, and it's everywhere. The most common confusion I see online is between the INFP and the INFJ. They're very similar, but they're also extremely different. That has been covered ad nauseum online. I have several videos myself about it. I'm finding out that the ENFP and the INFP are very similar. Is that mainly the ENFP will the main difference between those two, I understand this, the main difference between those two is that the INFP uses the FI first and then uses the FE. They think about their what they're going to do and actions before they act. The ENFP is the opposite. They act, they use the NE first, and then they go into the FI. So they may act, and they have a lot of projects at the same time and a lot of thoughts at the same time. They put what's in their brain out into what I call the 3D world, the actual physical world. They take it out of their head, what you could say will be the 4D. I'm going into dimension. Those who know the dimensions, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just skip over it. Take it out of your head, and they put it into the 3D world, the physical world. And then they wonder, was that a good decision? I do that particularly when I don't get the reaction I thought I was going to get from someone. I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's shouldn't have done that. And they put themselves out there and they take risk. Okay, so then they got the ISFP and the INFP. It's not a matter of, they're both intuitives. Actually, they're both intuitives. The ISFP is more concrete, and the INFP is more abstract. They think in theories, they think in possibilities, whereas the ISFP, even though they are intuitives also, they're not as intuitive. It's stuck in down and below. They think more in concrete terms and more detail. I still don't think I am that. I can be that way. So, you know, INFPs, and then INFP-A, and then I learned too that you can be an INFP-T, turbulent type, when you're younger, and then as you age, you can grow into, if you mature, you can grow into the more assertive type. So, that's probably the disconnect. So you can be an INFP-T at some point in your life, and you can be an INFP-A later on in life, or at a different point in life. If any of this makes sense, it does not to me because I don't do alphabet soup. And what I call that, that using the NEFI, but they're FI users. I was surprised at all that. These are, and then like I said, I'm not going to get into the INFJ. That is way too complicated. We're similar and we're totally different. But the ENFP is very similar to the INFP. And the ISFP is very similar to the INFP. And the INFPA is very similar to the INFP-T, but different in how they go about things. They're risk takers also. The ISFP that I found interesting is known as the adventurer. That's what people call me. I like adventure. And people know this, and I'll say it one more time, and that's it, that before the pandemic, I was out retired and I was out traveling the country. I'm in the States. I've been overseas, but I haven't seen the country from one end to the other. And I'm not talking about flying. I took the train, did the long way, rode coach, met a lot of people, saw a lot of towns, a lot of stops. Takes like 3 days to get from one end to the other. So that was interesting. That was an adventure. I like adventure. I'm an adventurous person. I like to, I'm going to go out, this is just an aside, but I'm going to go out and try to find the ranch dressing ice cream that I think is Baskin Robbins has put it out. I'm not sure if it's out of Ben & Jerry's. I don't know who's putting that out, but Walmart's supposed to have it, and I am going to go look and find the ranch dressing. That's going to be the only adventure I'm doing right now. Is I like doing new things. I do like the sensing. So what does that mean? And it also take into consideration we have more than 4 functions. There are 8 that we have, and if we do mature, and we do grow, and we exercise, it's like our muscles. You exercise your biceps and you let your triceps go. Then you're going to be weak in one area and not the other area. But you gotta exercise all of your muscles to have a healthy body. The same thing is true in the brain. You got to do the left side and the right side. Have a balance in your brain. In cognition, I think that the same thing is true, and we don't hear as much about it. There's some videos about it, but we don't hear as much about it. That all the sides to one type. We have 8 sides. I think we have 8 sides, at least. And I know Melissa talks about it, but she talks so much, and she talks. It's not a criticism; it's just an observation. is that I have a hard time keeping up with all the functions in general. I like just talk plain English. And so when she gets into it, she does have her graphs up there, which help. But I get confused because there's a lot of talking and a lot of alphabets used, and I do get confused. But she does cover that. Other people do cover that. I'm sure C.S. Joseph covers that. In his graphs, I don't watch him anymore either, but a few people do have that. So keep that in mind, that basically what I want to say, and this is 10 minutes long. It's a whole lot longer. I was going to make it like 3 minutes. You've clicked off a long time ago. But basically what I want to say is I am going to take a rest, but maybe we're all these things at different times, in different situations. If we have developed our inferior functions, our less dominant, and the tertiary, I don't even want to get into that. I don't understand it. Don't want to understand it. But who's the parent, who's the child, who's the tertiary, who's this? If we develop all of them, we can use all of them. So yes, so an INFP can be, at times, can be an INFJ, can be an ISFP, and can be an ENFP. I'm getting confused. We can be all these different things. We can also be the total opposite, and I won't get into it, but our total opposite of the INFP is the ESTJ. We can be ESTJ. I did that the other day. So yeah, so I feel a little bit better about all that and the identity. If you're confused and an INFP, it's because we are so talented that and diverse that we can be 1/4 of the Myers-Briggs 16 types on any given situation day if we have developed it. So don't worry about it. Be who you want to be. I think I may change the channel name after I come back from my break, however long that's going to be. I may change the channel name from Older INFP Insights to maybe Older INF possibly sites. Instead of INFP is INFP possibly, INF possibly, or probably, INF probably Insights. So I just want to say that, and this is a long thing. Doesn't take much to rack up the time on this. So I wanted to explain that. I'm appreciative of everybody clicking through at least, and it is a very popular video, so a lot of people must be confused. That's all I have to say. And I'm going to try, I tried in this video to unconfuse people that yes, you will be different. If you are an INFP, you will be different types on different days at different situations, different life phases. Don't worry about it. Just be who you want to be. Be you, and don't worry about the alphabet soup. And until next time, whenever that is, everybody, I thank you, and everybody stay safe.